it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about my June TBR. It has been so long since I filmed like an actual sit-down video. I just filmed a bunch and then I took a little bit of a break and I had more videos to film and I just never got to them. But now I'm finally getting to them, so I hope you're all doing well. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content that I've been putting out. I'm sorry that we're one video short this week. I also didn't vlog this week just because it was very busy, so I will be getting back to it the following week, but instead of that, I'm going to be doing a recent reads video because in May, I actually read a lot. I feel like I ended up finishing 12 books total, and May isn't over yet. I don't know if I'll finish another one, but 12 books in 1 month is like, it's not a ton for me, but it's better than I've been doing recently, so I'm really happy with that. So this June TBR is kind of all over the place. As per usual, it's kind of just a list of books that I might read. I just scratched myself, that's why my neck is red, I'm sorry. I literally just saw that in the viewfinder and I was like, it looks like I've been like mauled or something. But with my reading vlogs, I've been doing them a bit differently. I've kind of been doing them thematically and having like a certain book that I read that week or a certain genre, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'll keep up with that, but it is something that I have been liking doing, so I kind of planned out this TBR with that in mind. So the first book that I will definitely be reading in June is the book that I'm planning on starting next week, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the Hunger Games prequel that just came out, and I'm super nervous about this one. Like, people have been really surprised that I haven't included it on my most anticipated lists, and that's because honestly, like, I'm mildly excited for it. I'm just very cautious going into it. I've been avoiding any thoughts, any reviews, so please don't tell me anything about it. I've just been wanting to go into it and formulate my own opinion. Now, this is about President Snow, who, if you've read the Hunger Games series, you know as the villain from that series. So it's going to be interesting to be reading about him and how he got to the point that he is at in the Hunger Games. I generally do like villain backstories, but I'm just super nervous about this. I'm always cautious when authors add on to a series that was supposed to be finished. I guess with a prequel, I'm kind of more open-minded, but I always think of The Cursed Child, which I like hate. That's probably my least favorite book of all time. And I don't know, it just makes me very cautious. So I would say I have like a healthy skepticism going into this one, but it's not like I'm going into it expecting not to like it. I'm going into it genuinely not knowing what is going to happen or how I'm going to feel about it, but we will see next week. So if everything goes according to plan, my reading vlog for the following Monday that's coming up, not like this next Monday, but the Monday after that, so it should be June 8th, I believe, I should have read this book in that vlog. Stay tuned. I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, it should be fine. Before I forget, I did want to mention that my Calamity Jane by the Lady Janies is coming out the first week of June. I believe this coming Tuesday it comes out, so I'm planning on reading that one basically as soon as I possibly can. I'm so excited. It's the Lady Janies do like these fun satirical stories following different historical figures, and as you guys all told me on my last anticipated releases video, they're doing Mary's or Marie's next, and I'm like so excited and so happy to hear that they're not just done with it. I was worried that they were going to stop, but like, I am so excited. Oh my goodness. But I feel like my Calamity Jane is going to be amazing. I'll be really, really sad if I don't end up liking that one, but like, I feel like I will. My one hesitation is it's the Wild West and I'm not like generally into that, but I mean, I didn't really know anything about Lady Jane Grey, who is the topic of the first book, so it could be good. I don't know. I feel like I'm probably gonna like it. I don't know why I'm psyching myself out of it right now. There's probably quite a few other books that are coming out in June that I'm forgetting about that I will be reading, and I'm also planning on doing a video where I go book shopping online, so I'm planning on getting some more contemporary novels, YA contemporary, fun, fluffy, light books. That's what I'm in the mood for, because I realized I really don't have that much on my TBR for that. Like, I have a ton of more intense and emotional contemporaries, but for kind of romantic, like basically adult romance but without the sex sort of things, I don't have a lot, and I would like to have more because those are the quick and easy reads that help to get me out of a slump and just lift my mood, and I like reading them during the summer. So if you have any suggestions for some light, fluffy YA contemporary, please leave it down below. Adult romance I'm totally okay with. Like, I have more than enough of that. It's just the YA stuff. I don't have that much. Anyways, getting back to the actual books on my TBR. So I have a couple of books here that I included on my May TBR that I didn't get the chance to get to, shockingly. My TBRs are always just kind of like my wish list, basically, of what I'm gonna read. But first here I have Alice by Heart by Stephen Sater. I think I'm going to do a weekly vlog where I focus on reading some YA historical fiction. I've been super into the genre recently, and I have 3, 4 on my TBR here. If I could read all 4 in a week, that would be amazing. Like, that won't happen. I've been averaging 2 books a week, but a girl can dream. So I have given you guys a little bit of background for this story, but basically it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling, but also blended with the main character is living in London in World War II, so during the Blitz, and they are hiding in a tube. So I feel like I should clarify, because the way I worded that was just stupid. They are not hiding in a tube, they are hiding in the tube, like the London tube, just in case you were confused. And her friend is actually dying from tuberculosis, so she turns to their favorite pastime together, the thing that they bonded over, which is Alice in Wonderland. And she knows the story by heart, so she's reciting it to him. It's based on an off-Broadway musical, and I'm excited for it. I feel like it sounds really good, but I've seen kind of mixed reviews for it, so I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna feel about it, but I am like super pumped because that sounds like basically everything that I love. I also have They Went Left by Monica Hesse. This follows characters who have been recently liberated from concentration camps, so it's at the end of World War II, which is a time period I haven't read a lot about, so I'm very intrigued by it. I'm expecting this to be a super intense story. It's about the characters. It's a brother and a sister, and they're trying to find each other. I believe it's only told from the sister's perspective, but they are trying to find each other after the war when they're in displaced persons camps, and it just, I feel like it's going to be really, really sad. Like, they're the only surviving members of their family, and I am looking forward to reading it because I think it's going to open my eyes. And like I said, it's kind of a time period that I haven't read that perspective on the war. Mostly I've read during, not really before or after. So The Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse is one of my favorite historical fiction novels, and specifically World War II historical fiction. A lot of you guys also ask all the time, like, why most of the historical fiction I talk about is World War II. One, because that's most of what historical fiction is, just for whatever reason, and 2, I just find that time period to be interesting, so it intrigues me the most, and that's why. But I do have more that aren't World War II. It's just like, that's definitely the biggest time period on my shelves. I also have The War Outside by Monica Hesse here. I've been talking about reading this book for literally a year now, and actually, no, 2 years now. I feel like I've been talking about reading this book, so it's kind of ridiculous that I haven't gotten to it yet. This is set in internment camps in Texas, I believe. The camp is called Crystal City, and it follows a German prisoner and a Japanese prisoner, and they're both high school students, and it's just about their day-to-day lives in these camps, which obviously are a terrible place to be. This is another kind of period, or not really period, but aspect of history that I'm not that well versed in, so I'm looking forward to learning some more about it and educating myself. And the last historical fiction I have on here is Blood for Blood by Ryan Graudin. This is a sequel for Wolf by Wolf, which I read, was that in like March or something? I feel like that was in the middle or beginning of March, and I fell in love with that story. So interesting, an alternate history story where there's like this motorcycle race, and whoever wins it gets to meet Hitler, and the girl can skin shift, and she's like skin shifting to this person who has this girl who won the race before, so then she can hopefully meet Hitler and kill him. So there's a lot of stuff happening. It sounds like it wouldn't work, but it really, really does. And I don't want to put off this sequel as long as I've put off the other sequels on my TBR. Actually, that's another reading vlog that I'm hoping to do, is just a week where I read a bunch of sequels that I have to get to. So this one, if I haven't gotten to it by the time I want to film that vlog, will definitely be on the list. I also have Invictus by Ryan Graudin here. This apparently is inspired by Doctor Who, which I didn't know about, but the last time I talked about this, I think in my book outlet book haul, you guys let me know that, so that's really cool. I have watched a fair amount of Doctor Who. I kind of stopped watching it at number 13, I think. Is that where they were? Or was it 12? No, it was 12. Peter Capaldi is basically when I stopped watching it. Just like I don't know, it was coming, I watched them all when they were already out, and then as they were coming out, it was kind of harder for me to access them, so I stopped watching it, but at some point maybe I'll get caught up. But if you know anything about Doctor Who, then you know that this deals with time travel. It sounds, once again, like a bizarre concept, which is kind of what Ryan Graudin does best, but she really does it well. I'm sorry, Charlie is playing with this deer horn that I got him. He like has been really wild today and making it difficult to film, so I gave him it, but it can be kind of noisy. Next is a book that I am super excited to read, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This had been on my radar, and then a bunch of people had advanced copies of it, and pretty much everyone that I've seen read it has been gushing about it, absolutely loved it. So immediately my expectations went like sky high, and they were already really high. This is an adult romance, but I have read YA books by Emily Henry before. So I have read A Million Junes, which I really liked, and then I also read Hello Girls, which she co-authored with Brittany Cavallaro, who is the author of A Study in Charlotte, and that one I didn't really like so much, but this sounds like so good. So adult romance, like I said, and it follows these two characters who have neighboring beach houses, and they're both writers. One writes literary fiction, the other one writes romance, and they decide to switch what they're writing because they are both experiencing writer's block. And obviously a romance blooms. Sounds like it has so much good potential, and I will probably be reading this toward the beginning of the month. Here's the Charles. The last time I feel like he was in an actual sit-down video, he was really tiny because it's been forever since I filmed, one, and then two, the last times I was filming, my boyfriend was on midnight, so I was filming in the middle of the night and Charlie was asleep. But now he's very big, he's pretty much full grown, which is so sad, but he's still adorable. We love him. So I only have 2 other adult romances on my TBR. Obviously that doesn't mean that I won't read more, but I just have 2 that I would like to get to specifically. So Until It Fades by K.A. Tucker. I'd like to get to this one because this is actually the last romance I have by this author on my TBR. I recently read, what was it called? Oh, I can't think of what it's called, but I can picture the cover. This is why I have my books in a rainbow. It's Say You Still Love Me, I believe is what it's called. So I read that one in a vlog recently. I liked that one. I thought it was fine. 3 out of 5 stars, I think is what I gave it, or 3.5, which isn't a bad rating. You guys always think it is, but like 3 out of 5 stars, totally fine rating. Now, Simple Wild, I read back in December, and this one is just the last one I have. I truly have no idea what it's about. A modern day Cinderella story that will make you hope again. We'll see. I don't know. I just kind of like picked up all of her adult romances at one point, and I'm not really sure why. I was trying to see if maybe I got it from Book Outlet, but it doesn't look like it. Who knows? But since I have it, and it's the last one of hers on my TBR, I feel like I should get to it. That was a terrible explanation, and I apologize. And the other one I have is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This one I would like to get to because I actually pre-ordered the next one, which I think is Get a Hint, Danny Brown. I don't remember, but I believe this deals with a character who has a chronic illness, and she makes herself this bucket list of stuff that she wants to do. So I know that's kind of a common trope, but I always love it. Like, I feel like it just works really well. So it's also blurred by Helen Huang, who is the author of The Kiss Quotient, which I enjoyed. So I've heard some great things about it. We'll see. Now, I haven't included any specific YA fantasies on this TBR, or really fantasy in general, because I feel like one of the vlogs that I want to do is take a week where I try to get back into fantasy, but not really like force myself to. Basically, I want to just like pick whatever. I would still like to read fantasy. It's not something, like, my reading tastes are changing, but I still enjoy fantasy. It's just, I don't know, I kind of became really burned out by it. But I think I'm going to read Harry Potter and then transition into the other books that I have. So I was rereading Harry Potter back before Christmas. Actually, I feel like it was like a year ago now. It was July or something like that. But I got as far as this book. Order of the Phoenix is the next one that I need to do, and I really want to finish this reread. I feel like now that I have gotten quite a few books off of my TBR since I've been getting back into reading more quickly and just consistently, I feel comfortable rereading a book. So hopefully in June I will take the time to pick this up because I was thoroughly enjoying that reread and I just want to be back in the Harry Potter world. The last few books are just a couple of random YA contemporaries. So I have The Unlikelies by Carrie Firestone. This deals with a group of Good Samaritans. So the main character does a good deed and ends up in this group of Good Samaritans. I'm not really sure where that plotline is going to take me, but this will be my second read by this author, and the first one was a really interesting and different YA contemporary concept as well, so this one is obviously kind of a different concept too, and I don't know, I've been into those sort of unique reads, so I'm hoping that I will enjoy this one because I did like the last one a lot. Hello. You're wondering why I'm talking. You're like, who am I talking to? The world, Charlie. The world. Not really the world. Next is Only a Breath Apart by Katie McGarry. I've never read anything by Katie McGarry, but I know she has a lot of YA contemporary out there. This one is kind of a YA contemporary with a twist though. It deals with like local town folklore, and I don't know if it deals with psychic abilities or what, but I know it's that sort of supernatural-ish thing. I don't think that's the word that I'm looking for, but nonetheless, I have heard some really great things about this book. And the final book that I have here is A Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. This once again is a contemporary with a twist, so it's like this magical island. I really don't know what to expect from this one. All I know is that I have seen some like pretty rave reviews for it, and it seems to be well loved, and that kind of was just enough to make me want to pick it up. I kind of, for this TBR, just went to my shelves and was like, what's looking interesting, and picked all that stuff off. Also, these are books that have been on my radar for reading soon for the past little bit, so I feel like I have a good chance of probably getting a good dent in this list. I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen, but we'll see. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what is on your June TBR, or if you have read any of these books, if you liked them, your thoughts on them, which I should read first. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Charlie also says goodbye.